Are cookies a good thing? Is what we're talking about today in the eCentral Business Show. I'm John Nayler. And that obvious question is, we've asked for years and years, what has it been about cookies and what do they mean? Is it more than biscuits? And well, there's a whole lot more in fact. So let's give you a little bit of intel about the sorts of things that I've done in my career in digital marketing and website design to use cookies across things. So let's talk about where the technology is up to and what the big players are doing. So first of all, let's break down cookies. So when you go to a website, first up, you know, normally in this day and age, the average website server is just going to give a little token to your browser. So if you're using Chrome, Explorer, Mozilla, Firefox, whatever it is, there's going to be a little file sent across to your browser, which is just his little, here's your unique number, this is who you are. And so when you return page after page to that website, there's that little number is going to come back and report who you are. Now, so that's pretty straightforward, isn't it? So as you traverse and go across a website and visit the different pages and say log into your bank account or something like that, or just go from page to page anonymously, it just gives the browser and the web server that ability to track a little piece of information who you are. So big question, do they know who you are? Well, typically no. Unless you've logged in and identified yourself previously and given them permission to track that information. No, that's just a unique identifier that says, no, that person is who they are. You're not known by anything other than a number. So it's actually really quite secure unless, as I said, you've nominated yourself and given it away, that piece of detail in the past. So yeah, so my mind as a digital marketing programmer and a guy that's written a lot of websites, a lot of programming across websites, there's some fabulous things you can do. So let's burrow in and look at a couple of those. Say for instance, a charter website that I worked with for many, many years. We did some really, really nice, neat things on that website over the development period of some 16 years, to the point where as a person traversed that website and we got to see the pages that they went to, what was nice about that is we got to identify, say, the boats that they were looking at. So as they went from one boat to look at another boat and then another boat, and then maybe do a side-by-side comparison, that cookie allowed us to keep a little bit of an indication about the boats that person had been looking at. Say for then as well, they go and look at, say, some sample dates and look and say, oh, this is a date we want to take that boat. And multiply, so then it queries in the database and checks to see whether the boat's available at that time. What would happen then is that the website come back and say, oh, well, sorry, that boat's not available then at that date, but here's another option for you. And invariably it'll tell you that the other boat is in fact one you've probably already looked at, because we've kept a trail of that. And if that's a boat of interest, then that's a very positive reason that you're going to pursue that and want to look at that alternative vessels. So that's a nice, neat little way for cookies to work in your favour and anonymously, but just the website gets to work around you. So what are the big guys doing? Look, for years and years, we've been using commerce websites, whether it's been eBay or more popular these days, even Amazon if you're buying books in the USA, or a lot of websites. As you're looking at particular items of merchandising or whatever, and as you traverse down and, say, looked at a couple of book titles across business or investment, say, as a category, as you shopped and browsed all these different books, then you got down to this point where it said, well, people that bought this book also bought this book, or here's some other books of interest. So as you traverse and travel through the website, it's able to track those pages, track your level of interest, and ultimately even keep that little piece of detail and store it back in your cookie or against your cookie, so that next time you come back to the website, hey presto, they can remember a certain amount of detail of what you were looking at last time. Say, oh, here's that book you're looking at, or here's a suggested title. So it lacked a little bit of transparency, but they don't know who you are for the most part, unless you've logged in previously and identified and said, okay, keep my cookie, keep me logged in, so that when I come back, you can get to know I'm John Nayler, say for instance, and these are the book titles I looked at. But otherwise, it's just an anonymous relationship where you get to come back. Now, as the internet's developed and there's this whole big, beautiful new area of remarketing, and we've seen that flower, and we think, why have I gone from this website to this other website where I was looking at a book on investment, and then I've gone across this other website, and Amazon or Booktopia or some other website is now promoting promoting that book title as an advertisement. You're going, hang on, that's a bit odd. What's going on there? And of course, the truth is that because of that cookie is in a relationship that you've had with your browser to that web server, has actually gone back to a central ad serving service to identify that you've been in and you've looked at that particular product. So now you've gone to some other website. Hey, presto, there you go. Big one for me at the moment. Can't get away from Tony Robbins. Good on you, Tony, because once you've looked at a Tony Robbins website or some of his content, is invariably you'll get various offers to go and purchase or buy or be a part of one of his seminar events. So the remarketing efforts out of companies such as Tony Robbins and these sorts of people at that level are using remarketing to not just use cookie as an interaction between your browser and you anonymously and their website. They're actually now using it across a number of different websites so they can look at what you're doing. So on the business side, and let's look at how that works for you as a business owner. If you want to use cookies in your website, first of all, unfortunately, if you're using WordPress, look, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. But here's some things if you've got a smarter website where you can actually start to use cookies to actually work for you. Say, for instance, you're going, recently, there's a great example. So with some work we're doing with a client at the moment where part of our digital marketing process with them, so we've developed them a great website, we're working on a reputation, but as the people go across the website and traverse the different pages, we're just keeping a list of the pages they've been to, just as a little bit of extra gold there for when the person ends up invariably making an inquiry through the website about product X. So that email, and we've done this for a lot of time and a number of years at eCentral, but part of that inquiry that comes back and is reported back to that business about inquiring about product X is we actually list the pages that person's visited. And here's a really nice neat little thing that we've just started to discover. And for this client, we've been developing a set of videos around educating people about their topic. So FAQs, but done in video, nice and neat. What we've found is though, when we look at the list of pages people have looked at, they've come in from Google, they've looked at this page, they've looked at product X page, but invariably we're seeing a lot of people now looking at those videos. And that's listed there. So inquiry from Mr. Joe Blogs, interested in having product X delivered on date Y, and here's the list of pages he's been to. And guess what? There's, out of the past 4 inquiries, we've now seen 2 of those where they've gone and watched the video. So that's a great little piece of intel and a little bit of confirmation about the interaction we're having with them. There's some other nice, neat things you can do in terms of tracking on a case-by-case basis the amount of time people spend on the website. You can also look at so there's a list of pages we already talked about. We can also look at what type of phone the person's using or what type of device, because if they're using a computer versus a phone or an iPhone versus an Android, there's a little bit of information we can glean about the behaviour and the type of person we're dealing with so we can serve them better. And ultimately, I guess that's the takeaway from today. Cookies used on a big scale or used on a small scale or used within your own business, it's all about serving customers better. So for mine, I don't mind remarketing. I don't mind. I know that Tony Robbins is on my list of things to do, and when it turns up in some other website, I go, oh, okay, well done, Tony, you've got there and you're in my face. And then when I work with small business or my business clients, I want to obviously put them in a situation of best knowledge so they can then go and talk to that client in a position of knowledge and know a little bit more about what that person's looked at and what they're interested in so they can have a better conversation and ultimately serve them better. So as long as you see as cookies as something that actually is going to serve you, it's going to give you more information about or give you a better quality of service if you're the client, or if you're the business, give you a better service level of service to your client, then it's a good thing, isn't it? Anyway, that's enough about cookies for today. I'm John Nayler from eCentral. You can find us at www.ecentral.com.au, or you can call me direct on 0407 15 13 11 about the various things we do with digital marketing, not just video. There's a whole lot more under the bonnet, 20 years of experience in the field, and I'd love to talk to you about your digital marketing needs. Thank you.